The SEC is set to approve the final version of a contentious rule requiring companies to disclose the pay gap between rank-and-file employees and the CEO. The rule, written by the SEC at the direction of the 2010 Dodd-Frank law, would require companies to disclose median worker pay and compare it with chief executive compensation. Joining us now to break this all down is Wall Street Journal management news editor Joann Lublin. Joann, thank you so much for being with us. We've known for years that there's been a huge disparity between CEO pay and rank-and-file employees. So what is bringing this to the forefront for the SEC now?
This is part of the Dodd-Frank law that was passed 5 years ago, one of the many provisions that have taken a while to work its way through the system. And even today, after the SEC votes, this is not going to take effect for a while. And let's go through some of the things that the SEC will be voting on, some of the details of this new rule. It could exclude up to 5% of non-U.S. employees. Is that correct? Correct. Which does not go as far as some of the business community wanted them to go.
Wanted it to go. But it may exclude foreign workers if counting would violate data privacy laws?
Correct. But they're going to have to get somebody to testify to that effect. They're going to have to get legal counsel to sort of say that is the case in that country.
Okay, and then companies would not be allowed to adjust for seasonal or part-time workers.
They couldn't count them as full-time equivalents, which is something that the labor union community was seeking to have in this final rule.
Okay, and then firms would have to first report pay ratios in 2017 proxy statements. So like you said, this is...
No, they would have to report it for the 2017 fiscal year.
Okay.
And those proxy statements generally come out the year after the compensation was incurred.
Okay.
So whatever you made in 2017, you'll have to report on that ratio in 2018.
Okay, so what sort of pushback has there been?
Well, there's been a huge amount of pushback on both sides of the equation, with the labor community wanting this rule to be as tough as possible, and with this business community saying this is unworkable. And so this bone that the SEC is likely to throw about saying you can exclude up to 5% of your foreign workers is not going to pacify the business critics.
And so do you think this is likely to change the way people are compensated at all?
I do not think it's going to change the way CEOs are compensated because, frankly, they march to different drummers than what you do or don't have to put in the proxy statement. It is going to, however, result in companies having to do a lot better job of educating their workforce and, to a lesser degree, their investors about how they set pay at all levels, not just the CEO.
Is there a general formula that most people tend to agree on, that a well-run company, the CEO makes X percentage more than its least paid employee?
I don't think there's any acceptable.
There's no.
No, because the talent market should drive what you're paying the CEO, not the formula.
Right.
And of course, the gap over the years has gotten a lot wider, which is why Congress passed the provision to begin with.
Right, right. All right, so we will see what happens, Joann. Thank you so much for coming to talk to us today.